First came the bodysuit, then the matching bow, and today we're finally making the pants, the last piece, the one that completes the look, but there is something else. In this video, I'm also showing you my preferred way to make a waistband because I promised I'd share it after the last tutorial. Let's do this. Okay, all my pieces are cut and ready. 2 front pieces, 2 back pieces, 1 waistband folded, 2 cuff pieces, and 1 elastic that I already measured to match my toddler's waist. She's tiny, okay? We'll start simple. Match the right sides together on both front pieces, pin along the top, like on the waist area. Now we sew. At the machine, I'm using my faux overlock stitch to serge all the edges. After that, I follow with a straight stitch about a centimeter from the edge. This helps keep everything clean and strong. If you're not familiar with this process, you'll see how I do it in just a bit. Then repeat with the back pieces. Here comes the fun part, as it's going to start to look like pants. I line up the front and back center seams, pin along the inseam to form the legs. Then pin the outer sides. Now off to the sewing machine, same deal. Serge the edges, then straight stitch. And as I say, always a zigzag stitch works perfectly instead of the overlock stitch. Pro tip. I'm using my regular presser foot here. In the bodysuit video, I used a walking foot because we were sewing thick seams with ribbons and ruffles and plackets, and I didn't want my fabric to stretch more than needed, which can destroy our effort. But this project is rather simple, so there's nothing to make my fabric stretch out of shape, so regular is totally fine. If you see a little wobble in the seams, don't panic. A good pressing seam with the iron fixes everything. Time to prep the cuffs and waistband. Right sides together, pin the edges, then sew with the same combo, faux overlock plus straight stitch. Now let's attach the cuffs. I folded and pressed them, marked both corners. One is already obvious as it's the sewn edge, and the other, as I pressed earlier, made it look more pronounced. And now I'm going to sandwich each cuff between the front and back leg, matching my marks to the hems. Pin the sewn edge of the cuffs to the inseam. The other edge goes to the outer side, okay? Make sure all 3 layers are lined up perfectly. Raw edges together, the 2 of the cuffs with the pants, okay? Oh, and a quick tip. Use a ballpoint needle if you're sewing with knits, rib, or jersey. It doesn't stab through the fibers, it slides between them. That means cleaner stitches, fewer skips, and way less frustration, which I have suffered from at the beginning before I discovered stretch needles. Sew them in place with the same exact method as before, then give them a good press and steam. Here is where things got messy, like really messy. And yes, I'm showing you everything, okay? None of us is perfect, and I am absolutely not. I folded my waistband, pinned the corners, everything was going smoothly until I realized I forgot to insert the elastic. But that was not even the worst part. I also added this little cute tag to mark the back on the right side, like on the outside of the pants. I still don't know what I was thinking. Learn from me, please. Don't be me, please. Anywho, I had to unpin everything. Here is how to do it right. Fold the waistband in half, mark the center, and quarter points with pins, 2 pins at each edge. Sandwich the elastic between the layers before pinning them closed, making the 2 pins one. Then line up those pins with the seams/hems on the pants, quarter to quarter. I always place the seam of the waistband at the back of the pants. That's way when you're dressing your toddler or they dress themselves, it's easier to know which side is which. But of course, adding the tag makes it much easier for the little brain to set themselves for success. But yes, again, I messed up and added the tag to the outside again. Oh my god. And as you pin, make sure the 3 raw edges are aligned, the 2 of the waistband and the 3rd of the pants. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually did head over to my sewing machine and serged, then straight stitched the entire thing shut. I even started at the back, which is the thicker and trickier area, thinking I am doing myself a favor and I am doing everything right? Wrong. However, spoiler, I had to rip it out later. Did I mention this is a long-awaited video? Yeah. So, I ripped the stitches with my seam ripper, just enough stitches to correct my mistake. Removed the tag, attached it to the inside/wrong side of the pants. Then pinned it in place facing the pants area. By the way, you can pin it facing the waistband, but the one thing to keep in mind is that it should show on the wrong side, never the right one. After fixing all the chaos, I finally sewed it on. Started at the back again, 3rd straight stitch for reinforcement. As you can see now, we can call that a success. See how the tag is showing? You can get it to show even better if you were to add it to the waistband side. But hey, it's your call. If you want to make it too, the free pattern is in the description below. Thank you for sticking with me through this chaos and for laughing with me instead of at me, hopefully. And with that, all that is left to say is that until next time, I'll see your beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, creative face next time. Bye.